G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 18 of my Beginner's Fire Pets Cabalist playthrough. Last episode, we finished up the devotion points, and then I swiftly didn't spend it, because I wanted to have a look at where I was going to spend the last point and find kind of some good options. So good options include this one here on the Bard's Harp, just for some extra health. There was a few others kind of similar to that, that had 200 health and some constitution. But the one I'm going to recommend is actually the Foot of the Wolverine here. Now this will give you some defensive ability, which honestly is kind of whatever. But it does give your pets 10% pierce resistance. Now, if I come over here, you'll see that my pet pierce resistance is actually maxed. It's fully capped already, and if I hadn't spent that, it would already be fully capped. So why am I recommending this? Well, because it's actually not fully capped unless you have this particular pair of gloves. And you're unlikely to have picked these up while you're leveling, and so for most people, 10% additional pierce resistance is really good. I did have a look to see if there was any bleeding resistance, and there is, and it's also in the Wolverine here. It's 25%. There's also a little bit up here for pets as well. Those are the only two sources I could find on the devotion tree, and we don't have anywhere near enough points to get those unless we were going a full Ishtak defensive map. And I'm not doing that in this particular playthrough. Previously, I think I've stated that I really don't like that particular map because it means everything takes forever to die. That kind of weakness, I guess, of that particular map has been somewhat mitigated. It's still less damage than the Mogdrogan route, but it is less damage. Yes, that sentence made way more sense in my head. Okay, so that's what I'm going to recommend, and if you have these gloves, that point may be momentarily kind of worthless, but once you take these gloves off, it will be worth a lot more. Pierce and bleeding resistance are quite hard to get for pets. Alright, with that said, I need to actually go back to normal and get some more Mender's powder, because my pets definitely need the Aether and Chaos resistance. So I'm going to buy a couple extra, and we will keep them in the bank. Now they come from the Mammoth resistance here, and you will need to have the required amount of reputation. That's the word I'm looking for. You'll need some reputation, but you should have it by now. So I'm going to buy, do I need 2 or 3? Just 2. Okay, 1, 2 for the rings, and then, yeah, that seems good. Just to have a few extras in the bank. Okay, you can't put these in the shared stash, so this is where I find out that I had previously already done this. Nope, I haven't. Okay, good. I feel less silly then. And I'm actually going to keep these as well. I'm almost certainly not going to use them again, but anyway. There we go. Let's bounce back to Ultimate and go and point the pets at some things to poke. Alright, so we are up to Homestead. Does that sound right? Yeah, we're up to Homestead, but we're going to start with Pine Barrens. So let's get the boys out and head on over to Prospector's Trail. We're doing for Dynamite. Now, you can ignore this and just go straight into the Homestead stuff if you wish. I personally prefer to get the, I mean, it's not free, but it's really good source of Black Legion reputation. And the sooner you can get that sort of stuff, then the better you're going to be. Because the Black Legion has the best armor augments, it's definitely best to get that kind of as soon as you can. So, let's get a wriggle on here. Now again, we're not super strapped for XP, and it doesn't really matter if we go a little bit slower through this section, get more XP, or if you want to maybe rush a little bit, just kill whatever your pets can take out on the way past, which, I mean, it's basically everything anyway. And you'll end up with, maybe you have to grind an extra 2 or 3 levels on totems or whatever, which is all fine. Alright, we'll kill the heroes though. Other than that, I think I am going to skip past a lot of these. The Draggles, this is, I think, the first time I've really seen their new models since the patch. I did look through the patch notes briefly. and saw that they put those in. They do look pretty good. Certainly a whole lot more menacing than their older models. So pretty happy with that. Okay, so those of you who don't know what the quests are, go ahead and pick them up. Or you can just follow what I do and you'll hit them all anyway. Having said that, you did do them in normal, I assume, so maybe you can just remember them. So I'm going to hit Mogara on the way past here. Mogara, maybe a little rippy, but it should be fine. Spread the pox among everyone, get us some buffs. That's a hero, so we'll take care of him. Manticore Eye, very nice drop. These things, if you ever need to make, I don't know, say a relic that needs just pulling a random number out here, 12 of those, you're gonna be really happy you got that one. And I've gone north a little bit earlier than I should have, so let's head back down here. Yeah, any Manticore eyes that you can pick up from killing these, you're almost certainly not going to get one from anything that isn't a hero, so don't go out of your way to find non-heroes. But we can get one maybe from Mogara up here. Alright, Mogara does sunder, so watch that tail whip. And the goblins will heal her. There's another Manticore Eye, that's very, very nice. Vigorous of Amarastus. Flurry is kind of whatever. But that's what we're here for. I do need to get some Venom, and obviously this guy needs to die because he has... There's my Venom. There's the Black Scourge. Now, this is a pretty good weapon. I think this dropped previously as well, but just in case it didn't. This is actually a very good weapon for later, specifically the mythical version, so that particular drop doesn't really matter. But extra pets is extra damage. That's one of those weapons that didn't used to be really worth using because the condition to trigger it, I think, was getting the killing hit with your player character, which just doesn't happen on a pet build. So it was kind of useless unless you were trying to do some sort of pet hybrid, and that sort of works, but not really, so most people didn't bother. Okay, first location for the cave that is not a cave. Obviously, there's no cave there, so we're going to move on to the second location for the cave that is not a cave, which is just here. And it's not there either, so third location. And it's not here. Okay, so it's going to be down here somewhere. Also, there it is. So you're looking for a cave that's here, but it's not actually on the map. So it's not shown as like a doorway. I do also need to kill this totem. And I definitely need to stay out of melee range of all that. Let's turn the loot off so we can see what's going on. Honestly though, watching these big rock guys for the rocks, and otherwise just coming to pick up the loot. Stone Treaders, maybe. Sovereign Shield, no. Dreadguard, I think is a... that is the Necro Shield I was thinking of. Yeah, so this actually might potentially be worth using. +2 to Undead Legion would, I think, get us an extra skeleton. So let's just try it. Let's just chuck that on. And do we get an extra skeleton out of that? No, we don't. Okay, so there's really no point to that. But the +1 to all Necro skills, in addition to +2 to Undead Legion, in addition to points of manipulation, which we don't actually have yet. This is not a bad offhand if you haven't spent the time to get a Houndmaster's Flesh Warped Archive. This is definitely a decent, not amazing, but decent option for your offhand. Let's get the boys out again, since I unsummoned them all by swapping that. And of course we have to get the loot. Okay, into the cave, and what we are looking for here is, well, actually there's only one way to go. But at the end of the one way you can go, we have the Briarthorn, whose name escapes me. I think is it Old Bloodbriar? I'm pretty sure that's his name. I'm horrible with names, but I'm pretty sure that's right. So we'll go and say hi. We're going to kill off all of his friends on the way past as well. I didn't need that Mark of the Myrmidon or the Chilled Steel, so I'm not sure why I went back for it. Pretty much just habit at this point. Alright, so he's going to be up the top here, and we're just going to murder him to death. This is not him. There he is. Somewhere. Nope. Got a couple of heroes, which is good. More Homestead reputation. Where is he? Did we kill him by accident before I even saw he was there? Yeah, there he is. So he's going to go down pretty quickly. Bleeding resist is not something we have huge amounts of, so anything that does any kind of bleeding damage is going to tickle a bit. But I think we're mostly fine. Heal boys up a bit, and we can go down here now. So this is into the cave that is marked on the map outside. So if you're happy to skip killing all Bloodbriar and skip one of the quests, then you can just go in that cave instead and head on down here, although you'll probably come in the other side. And honestly, just go find the cave. There's only 4 places it can be, and it's worth an extra quest of XP and reputation, so there's no reason not to. Alright, once you see the cow, this is where the Spider Queen is, or Ungoliax the Gloomweaver. That really is her name. Lord of the Rings references all through this game. This is one of them. So we got another purple item that we're not going to use. And a Devotion Shrine, which costs us a Vicious Jawbone and gets us 3 rares. Not horrible. Not particularly amazing, but not horrible. Alright, and then we just go out the way we came in. So we started off kind of over here, and the exit is there. So just head back that way. And that is the second one of the quest targets in this area. Oh, looks like they've all got the, whatever that is, on them. Some sort of spreading dot. Fortunately, didn't give it to us, which is nice. I didn't notice the icon for that. I'm assuming it was some sort of Bloody Pox clone, but not exactly sure what it is. Okay. So you're almost always going to get ambushed here at the doorway. This is, you can see it's marked on the map. This is probably the entry that you're not going to find if you're just jumping in the first door you find. We may as well, I think this one is going to be a pay forward one, yeah. You know what, I'm not going to go crafting. I came in here mostly to check for the treasure trove, which isn't there, so we can eliminate that as one of the spawn points. The other ones are all up on the walls here. But honestly, unless you find it in that first little section there, it's not worth it. And I'm not going back to town to craft a component just so as I can get 3 rare items. Alright, this is really exciting though, level 71. So Necromancer, we're pretty much done on Necromancer. More health would be nice, more damage here would be nice. Getting up to Mark of Torment would also be nice, but this is all little, you know, small potatoes. The big potatoes is these 3. So 1 point here gets us a little bit of reduced targets damage for the pet, but it's actually not very much unless you max this out. So what we're going to do is we're going to not spend it there. And instead we're going to put 1 point in possession and 1 point into manipulation. So possession is really good defensively. If you've been feeling squishy up to this point, which I have, I would recommend putting a couple points into this. Maybe 1 a level, maybe 2 a level, just until it's maxed out. It's up to you, depending on how squishy you feel. The top line of the stats that this gives you says 3% damage absorption, and it gets up to around 20-25%. Which, if you're feeling squishy, is absolutely amazing. So definitely get that, and definitely you also want to get manipulation, because this is additional damage and total speed for your pets. So they'll run around faster, they'll attack things faster, if they have spells, they'll be casting them faster. This is just really, really good for pet damage. And this is really, really good for not dying. So whichever one you think you need more of, go ahead and spend those points there. I will probably go for 1 point each per level, or I'm going to do what I should do, and max out possession first. Because this is hardcore, I really should be taking defensive things first, but I'm also, I think this is like my 11th or 12th Fire Pets Cabalist that I've leveled, so I'm semi-confident which is actually a really good way to get yourself killed. But I'm probably just going to do 1 point per level into each of them. They're both really, really good, and more points into either and or both is definitely the way to go. Right. And these guys are all busy healing their friend up, so let's just... You know what? Let's reset this fight. We'll come back in, see if we can't get some of those shaman or witch doctors or whatever they are. Get some of them dead. Now, I am going to be ordering my pets to specifically target them as soon as I see them again. Does look like they've all run away. Alright, let's take out Arbogol. And grab some loot here. But this idiot over here needs to make an example out of him. Go out of our way to kill that one guy. It looks like we did actually kill the hero here. That was interesting. I fully expected him to still be there. Okay, so I reset a fight I'd already won. It's always fun. These guys here are going to hit pretty hard, so I do want to stay away from them as much as I can. Having said that, it looks like my armor is up to snuff, and they're not really a massive problem. Get a couple of them though, and they will quickly become a massive problem. Okay, this room here looks a little rippy. I think we can just walk past all this stuff. We'll be getting XP from all the little things that die in 1 or 2 shots on the way past. And not really staying long enough for the witch doctors, or what are they called actually? Yeah, they are witch doctors. Not really staying long enough for them to be a problem. This section here though, you definitely want to be killing them through this section. Actually, that looked like an interesting pair of gloves. So Taskmasters is one of the prefixes. You probably want to have one of these on your gear somewhere. Touch of the Everliving Grove is quite good though. And we're not really taking a huge amount of Aether or Chaos damage on the pets, but having one of these probably not be a horrible idea. We will, I think, be swapping 1 or 2 of these augments out later. I'll have to check the plan, but I'm pretty sure we do swap at least one of the Mender's powders out, so you will want 1 piece of Taskmasters, and you will want 1 piece of, I think it's of the Wild, that comes with elemental resistance for your pets. So definitely want to keep your eye out for a couple pieces like that. Anyway, for now we'll stick with the purple, although they are 21 levels old. Alright, come through here. Definitely kill off all of the witch doctors you can, because they will heal the big bad guy at the end, and we want to be killing him, not getting him down to 5% and then watching his health bar refill. So, just kill him, please. There we go. We've probably aggroed the big angry guy. No, oh, yep, here we go. Oh, he's mad now. That looks like... Well, that really, really hurt. But that looks like he's got a new model as well, which is quite good. He's killing skeletons. This is the part where I figure out that I unsummoned my Hellhound and didn't bring him back. Pretty sure that's going to be since we leveled up, so however long ago that was. Okay, Ill Omen Greaves are not bad. Let's have a look at those for the people playing along at home. So Greaves of Ill Omens, Bone Harvest and Ill Omen for plus the skills, vitality damage. Yeah. The Ill Omen skill itself is a bit of a curse, so anything hits you, they take cold and vitality damage, get confused, and they're slowed down. They're not horrible. They are much lower in armor than the rares that we have, so I'm not going to use those. We are, however, done with the Pine Barrens, so if we just jump back out to the Pine Barrens here, and we wander on over here, and do I have... Good, I didn't do it. Alright. If you happen to have any XP boosting gear right now, this is one place that is really, really good to put it on. I'm about to get, I think, 1.5 levels from turning all these in. So if you could turn that into almost 2 levels, it's probably worth it. Right, so I'm exploring the area. What do you need? And click the bottom button. what are you doing out here? Need any assistance? And click the bottom button. There we go. So actually it wasn't as much as I was expecting, but at least in normal you usually get a level and a half, 2 levels. This is still a huge chunk of XP, and if I had any XP items, I would have got a level there. So it's worth putting on. If you have the Explorers set, chuck it on there. It's one of the few areas where I don't mind the annoyance of swapping them over. But generally speaking, I don't really want to be doing that too often. I think we'll just sell those. I'm almost certainly not going to be using them. I'll regret saying that later. Actually, can I buy that ring back? Yeah, I can. I'll hang on to them. They are quest rewards, so you can't get them back later. There we go. Alright, let's bank this stuff, and then we can look at the Homestead quest, which is going to be killing the Aether Cow and the bugs out in the fields there. You know what? We can put these in here, and then that way I can... What is going on here? Why can't I drag these? Okay, now I can. That's weird. Now it's letting me pick it up. Alright, I don't know what's going on there. That's a nice little bug or something. Anyway, moving on. Let's go ahead and chuck those in there. Maybe I was holding shift down and didn't realize it. That could be what happened. But that was a little strange. Alright, get the boys out again because they unsummon themselves with that ring change. I am wearing the correct rings. I'm just gonna say that I was holding shift down by mistake, and we're gonna go with that. Because I haven't encountered that as a bug before. It's not one I know of, so I'm just gonna say that was my error, not the game's. It's a little amusing. I don't think I was holding shift down, but yeah, maybe. Alright, anyway, we're out here killing eggs, which we definitely need to do, and we're going to be too short here. That's fine. Kill this one, and 2 more. There's 1, there's 2, we are good to go. Now, when you do come through this section, especially on Ultimate, it is absolutely worth it to make sure you get Dayla's Diary. We do want to start her quest in Ultimate, because if you want to get the Lokar set, you will have to kill the Lokar, and he needs the Dayla quest line to be active, because that's how you get in. So come in here. We'll grab this one. Take her, what was that, shoulder pads? Yep, take her shoulder pads, read her diary. Nothing weird about that at all. And then we'll be on our way. There's a few other quests out here as well, which I'm going to do because I like XP, and quests are a really good source of XP that don't really take a whole lot of time. Yep, don't have to craft that, so I'll take my 3 items, thank you very much. And in the barn here, I'm looking for a body that is clickable. Doesn't look like it's here, which means that it's going to be in one of the other locations. Is there a house up here? There isn't, so we're heading south of the barn here. In the middle here, you may find a body. It'll have a quest item on it. You may not find the body, in which case, I mean, it'll still have the quest item, it's just not here. Same with this bed here, at the bottom of it. This is where I am. So Devotion Shrine, check in here next to the bed. Those are the first 2 places, then head directly south. From directly south, we can head into this house here, which we can blow up, and it looks like I have a corpse here. There we go. The last will of Marthas Everbrook. So that's what I was here for. There's level 72. I think I am just going to stick to 1 point into each of them for the next 12 levels. Seems like a decent way to go. If you didn't get your what is it, the will from there, then it'll be directly west of this rift gate. Preferably you want to walk through that little gap. Unfortunately, it's blocked for me, so I'm going to have to go around. And we'll just kill off the bugs on our way south. Here we go. So if you can, just walk straight through there and down and under here. Because we have a demon to rescue from being stuck inside of a little girl. Which is going to change our dynamite, which we're going to use to blow the door open, into a Blood of Chthon, which are a fair bit more valuable. So pay 1 dynamite, go inside, and for the 1 dynamite that you paid, you will get the blood of this demon here. Take the bottom option until you don't have a bottom option, and bingo bango bongo. Balog Nath, the Hellfire. And he'll die pretty quick. He does put fire on the floor, so just be careful when he dies. Get your boys out of whatever it is, and definitely don't be standing still in a pile of fire. All right, don't know why I came out that door, because we're going to immediately rift over to the Rotting Croplands here, and we got some bugs to squash. Now I will show the last location of the will for Marthas Everbrook, I think it was. Pretty much go directly west from the Rift Gate. Obviously, you're going to go a little bit to the sides as you go around fences and such. But there'll be a body in here somewhere if it's this particular spawn point. If you've got to this point and it's not there, then you've missed it, and it will be at one of the other locations, and you just didn't notice it.
I can't do that.
The totem in this area as well could be up here, so kind of up and a little bit to the right from the Rift Gate, or it could be right here, or it could be just over here next to the barn. This particular totem is quite rippy. It is an ancient Aether Warp totem, and it has a habit of throwing a whole bunch of, Storm Titans and such at you. The really big Ethereal Vanguard type enemies. So if you're not up to doing a ton of damage very quickly, then they will pile up and you're going to be taking a ton of damage very quickly. So the build at this point definitely should be able to do it, but just be ready to run. Make sure you know where your exit is. And this is the one-shot chest, which you gain access to by getting the will for Marthas. So if you don't have the will, you won't be able to get in there. You won't be able to get that particular chest. So it's worth getting. You will get a guaranteed purple item, or sorry, a guaranteed blue or better item. It's not guaranteed purple. So it's worth rolling the dice on it, especially because it's XP as well. And I am now looking for the bug hive. Now obviously I've done this a million times, so I know approximately where they spawn. Watch as I can't find it after having said that. There it is. Usually I come up from this way, because I'm coming from the Rift Gate. Alright, so in here we have got a bunch of heroes to kill, which obviously we're going to kill. We've also got Gollus, who we can go and pay a visit to, even though there's actually no need to go down to see Gollus on this character at this point. We can kill him, in which case we'll get Gollus rings, which are not bad, but we want Bloodsworn Signets, so we don't need his ring. There's a Devotion Shrine down there, but we don't need Devotion Shrines, so it's basically just kind of a 3 random green item chest. And that's kind of it. So heading down to see Gollus is something we can do, but I think I'm going to skip it, because I just don't think it's worth the time. The reason I'm down here is I'm checking just here where this rotting corpse is. Tyrants of Veracity, that would be great if it was on a different weapon. We do also have Anoxus, I think it is. He'll be over here somewhere. Let's go find him. Why not? Now, he is actually maybe not home today. He is going to be Aether Warped. There he is. So make sure you're not standing in Aether. Or just keep moving if that's easier for you. But he's relatively easy to kill. Get the touch of Malice here. Nice little shield. Worth killing him just for the Coven and Homestead reputation, but it's probably a little bit out of the way that you don't need to do. Yeah, so I'm going to skip Gollus. Up to you. There is always a chance that you get a really nice leveling ring for your next character. so it could be worth going down there. Just be aware, he does hit decently hard. Alright, so we're looking for the 2 Grand Viziers here. I would expect them to be one here or there. Or up here. So hopefully they're going to be up there. This is the entry to Golis, which I'm not going down. Actually, I will, because there is potentially an Exalted Stash just here in this first area. So I just made a liar out of myself. I do see that hero as well. Down he goes. Grab the loot. Chonag-Ri, which is a fun name. One-handed bleeding axe. Not too shabby. And we're going to go over here. Now, that is the entry to Golis' little house. And I'm checking just here for the Exalted Stash, which obviously isn't there. So we're going to head back up. You absolutely can go down and kill Golis. The Devotion Shrine is a fight Devotion Shrine, so you maybe will get some loot from that. Honestly, I've gone that far, it's probably worth it to do it, but nope, I'm going to skip it. Okay, Viziers. We are looking for the Viziers to open the door. Here's one of them. Let's hope the boys come and bail me out here. I may have bitten off more than I can chew without them. Okay, Myrmidon Visor. Vambraces of Caged Souls. I'm pretty sure no, but let's have a look at them. Some bleeding resistance there. +3 to Blight Fiend, but honestly, armor increase is not worth it. And I do like the little the heal you get on the Touch of the Everliving Grove. Here's our second Vizier, so we're going to go and pay him a beating. He's going to go down pretty quickly. And we just grab all his stuff. Touch of Purity. Is that an offhand? Nope, that's a main hand. One-handed Scepter. Blood of Dreig, Mendflesh. Okay, this is more of a support sort of thing. Gives you a healing ability. Blood of Dreig is a heal. Mendflesh is the pet heal from the familiar. So this is actually not a bad support item if you're playing multiplayer. Or with pets, perhaps. Okay, we're in the Hive Queen's lair. I haven't found the Exalted Stash, so it should be in here in the top left. So I'm just going to run up there now. There's the Queen, stuck on her little wall. Here's my Exalted Stash, which you'll love to see. What blue item do I get? Nope, I get Ravager's Bite. So actually getting a decent number of Vitality items. This weapon, or the mythical version of this weapon, is what I'm using on my Blood Knight, Death Knight. Pretty good for Bone Harvest. Let's just clear the area a little bit before we worry too much about the Queen. She's going to keep spawning stuff until we get in her face, but don't want too much stuff deciding they want to come and play with us while we're fighting the Queen. There we go. So hopefully they should mostly stay out of the poison. And she'll go down pretty quickly. We'll just stay close so as when she comes off the wall, the boys are ready to pound her. Phrasing, but also I'm going to let it stand. And she's going to die very, very quickly indeed. Gone. Okay, Queen dead. Time to go find the Aether Cow. So just take the Skyrim exit. And we don't really need to worry about Nemesis, but I am going to check just in case. So this area used to be, and the more I think about that statement, the funnier it sounds. This area used to be one of the very likely places to spawn Valdoran, which is why I'm checking, because I'm living in the past. Also, I'm going to head up here and just see if the totem is in the area. Doesn't seem to be. I think I would be able to see it on the map by now if it was here. Yeah, it would be here. So it's actually down here by the Rotting Croplands Rift, and I just walked straight past it. So if I remember, after we kill the Aether Cow, and let's be honest, I won't, but if I remember, I'll go back and show you the fight. It should be fine, but just be aware it could be a little rippy. Alright, here's the little entry into the gruesome harvest. Or the barn where the Aether Cow lives, basically. I'm gonna kill Darlax, obviously. More loot, more better. There he goes. Got some hermits like guards. Let's have a look at those. Aspect of the Guardian is actually really good to get additional skill points in, so if I could use these, I would potentially be interested in them. I think we're okay though. Let's just beeline up here for the actual barn area. We'll kill off some of these guys. They're going to follow us and stand on the wall and lob things over at us. And we can just run up here next to the barn and all of our boys should teleport inside. Don't want to get too close to the door just yet. I want to make sure everything's dead, which obviously it is. Okay. Let's wait on Call of the Grave, and I'm just going to blow everything the second he walks through that door. Going to issue a pet attack command over here so they all run over to the door. There we go. And now we blow him up. There he goes. So if you queue up everything, all your buffs and all that, he dies very, very quickly. You don't have to worry about mechanics or any of that. If you're not killing him that fast, you will have to dodge his Aether waves. You'll have to not stand in the Aether tornadoes that don't move. Plumes, I guess we'll call them. But relatively easy fight. And he does, of course, drop the pulsing shards, which, I mean, we're not playing Albrecht's Aether Ray, so who cares? Alright, I showed you all the other locations for the ancient Aetherwarp Totem. This is, honestly, the first one I should have checked. So it's right here. If you're farming later on, this can be a good way to get XP as well as reputation with the Black Legion, the Mammoth Resistance. I believe both of those should give you reputation. Black Legion, Ethereal Vanguard, Mammoth, yep. So you can get good reputation with all of those. Also good XP because it's an ancient Aetherwarp Totem. You're going to get more enemies and they're going to be tougher. And more loot for the same reasons. Okay, so I have got the... Let's turn that off. I have got the Vanguard spawn. Here's the Storm Bearers, not Storm Titans, that are starting to show up. And you can kind of see how if you let all this pile up, and there's even more of them coming out of the ground at various times, if you let all this pile up, you can very quickly become overwhelmed. Alright, having said that though, Stormweave armor. I mean, no. Probably looks pretty cool though. Empowered Tempest. We got 3 purples and a blue out of that, which is not bad at all. So if you wanted to spend some time farming your own pair of Touches the Everliving Grove, well, it can't drop here anymore because you're too high level. But if you did want to farm this area, you can get some good drops, I guess. I would personally wait until probably level 90 before I even thought about farming for totems. But we may need to do some totem farming just for XP. Okay, this is another point in time where I will tell you that if you have the Explorer set, it's not a bad idea to put it on right now. I'm not going to bother, but you're going to get a whole bunch of quest turn-ins right here. And getting the boosted XP is never a bad idea. It's never really required either, but it's, you know, free XP that I'm kind of throwing away here. Or have thrown away, I guess I should say. Alright, we're going to vendor all of this, including the purple weapons that I don't care about. We'll go and talk to Dela over here, just to get her quest done. Found your diary. I promise you I didn't read it. So, Homestead reputation, bunch of XP. And we can go down and talk to Captain Soma. And we will agree to her next mission. We have hit Revered with Homestead. And you know what that means? Pretty much nothing. That means we have access to their Revered tab, so let's just go have a look at it. It's Fire and Lightning Resistance Augments and something else. Solar Girdle if we were playing a Shaman. Empowered Bolt Spitter. The blueprints are no good. The mandates are good if you want an alt. If you're ever planning on making another character and you don't want to start from fresh, grab one of these, put it in your shared account, and then once your second character gets access to the bank, or you can go into Crucible at level 1 and get it from there. Then you get a 200% reputation gain increase with Homestead on that character. Make sure you right-click it in your inventory to get that bonus. Just carrying it around doesn't do anything. Okay, so we got fire and lightning resistance there, and this one is pierce and fire. So, you know what? I don't have max pierce resistance right now, so I'm going to buy one of those, and we'll just chuck it on helmet or something. The other things we have access to now, I'm looking specifically for pet resistances, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to find any. Yep, definitely not. If I come over here to the actual guide that I wrote for this, there is a section on pet resistances, and it tells me that at level 40 we get Rifthound Salts from Devil's Crossing, assuming, again, you have the reputation, which you probably won't at level 40. At level 65 we get Mender's Powder from the Malmoth Resistance, which we're already using, and then at level 90 we get Silvaria's Essence, which is Poison and Acid, which we don't need because we're playing a Cabalist, and we just push this button and Blood of Dreig takes care of that for us. We are way over the cap, and our pets are going to be similarly over the cap. Okay, let's just use that before I forget about it, and we'll spend these points as well before I forget about it. Anything else interesting in here? If you're still using the harvest grips, these could be good. I am contemplating using these, actually. That is a decent increase in armor, decent increase in health, defensive ability. Okay, some people swear by defensive ability, and if you're stacking it, then it can be useful, because if you get enough of it, then enemies with low offensive ability will miss you, I think up to 60% of the time, and then if you get even more defensive ability on top, you can actually reduce the damage you take from things that do hit you as well. So if you stack tons of it, it can be useful. But until you're fighting Celestials, basically, I think defensive ability is entirely optional. Very few enemies get more than a 10% bonus to damage if they crit you. And you can use the stats, I guess, on your items instead of defensive ability. You can get other stats. So, personally, I think defensive ability is entirely optional unless you're fighting Celestials. But some people do swear by it, and you do get defensive benefits, obviously, from using it. But I'm more interested in armor and resistances, so I think I will leave those. These boots, honestly, the +3 to Lightning Strike I don't really care about. For me, it's more about that piercing resistance. These actually could be really good. I think I'm going to leave these, but these boots and these gloves are staples for a lot of my playthroughs. Around level 30, or not around, at level 35 you get access to these ones, the lower level versions. And then once you get revered, around level 70, let's say it's level 80, these are still decent. And if you have rubbish in your gloves or your boot slot, then it could be worth wearing them. These boots, honestly, are not a big enough improvement that I'm going to worry about them. The gloves, however, that is a nice increase on armor. Some good extra resistances. My pets would lose some health. My pets would have uncapped piercing resistance, but honestly, as long as they're not dying immediately, I don't really mind having to resummon the pets occasionally, so I think I will swap these over. This also does make it a little more, I mean, fair is not the right word, but a little more realistic, because most people are not going to get those gloves. It's the main reason why, if I ever get around to doing another Hardcore Achievements guide, one of the rules for it will be no purple or blue items. Alright, we don't have a choice here since we are necromancers. We have to side with the Death Vigil. So let's just get on with that. Also, I do prefer the Death Vigil anyway. So Kaiman's idiots can sort their own problems out, and we'll kill a whole bunch of them later on. Alright, pick up the quests here. When you get the quest from Scoutmaster, what's his face here? Go ahead and check your bank, and just make sure you didn't bank a whole bunch of these from normal. So, if you were a little more, let's say, diligent in normal difficulty, it's entirely possible that you would have banked all 5 of those, and you could just turn the quest in straight away. I obviously didn't do that, and it's, honestly, it's not something you have to do, so if you did it, great. If you didn't, it's also kind of great. Chaos being uncapped here is somewhat annoying. Let's actually go fix that. So I don't want to go into a chaos damage area with anything less than fully capped out chaos resistances. So I'm just going to swap that Aether Soul over to a Black Tallow. Now I think I have more movement runes because I just lost my movement skill. But just in case I didn't, hang on. Words are hard, typing is harder. Riftstone, 1, 2, 3, I think it's 3, and then Black Tallow, I haven't bought the recipe for yet. If you need Black Tallow, it will be sold by the representative of either the Death's Vigil or Kaiman's Idiots if you have somehow managed to side with them. Where are we? Tallow, there we go. I would have swore I bought this by now. Halfway through Ultimate is usually not when you figure out you haven't got the Black Tallow. So the Black Tallow, for anyone who doesn't know, is the Chaos equivalent of the Aether Soul. So Aether Soul gives you Aether damage, defensive ability, Aether resistance, and then less damage from Ethereals and Aether corruptions. The Black Tallow does the same thing, but for Chaos stuff. Actually, is that literally identical? Yeah, it's literally identical. So, Chaos version of that one. That'll be fine. We are going to have our Chaos resistance shredded a little bit. It's not the end of the world, but more would be better. My armor rating's already low. Armor absorption, that is. And do I have another movement rune in my stash? I don't, so I'm going to have to go talk to the emissary. I'm not going to go back to normal for this. Okay, you require me for what? Very well. Let's jump in. Actually, we'll do the start of this. Now, I'm pretty sure I sided with Soleil last time. Where are they? Friendly, friendly, respected. Yeah, definitely sided with Soleil. I think I'm going to do Bismail this time. Bismail is definitely the easiest, especially if you do it on normal as well as ultimate. I'll go get the totally normal weapon up here as well. Yeah, Bismail is definitely the way to go if you just want to smash through this as fast as you can. Because you can get all of the quest items they need in normal, and then come to ultimate, and just turn the quests in all in one go, and you're pretty much done. Okay, the emissary, why do you need me? I will take on your challenge, but later. Actually, I'm going to do it now, because otherwise the quest will be here. Soleil, I want the charging ball. Let's grab a few extras. Probably won't use them, but there we go. Okay, totally normal weapons are always good fun to look at. So this looks like a shield, but if you read the top line there, this is a legendary one-handed mace. So this is a weapon that has a shield skin. So if you wanted to make the wall, you can do that. Not something I'm interested in right now. I do eventually have to make a warlord build, but it's really hard not to just make it a force wave character, to be honest. Right, rush. There we go. Alright, we've got our legs back. And we've got the boys back, and Chaos Res is capped, and we're taking less damage from Chthonics because of the Black Tallow. Everything is right with the world. Let's go stomp some demons. Now, I do want to check here. So this section here that we're about to go into, the Blood Grove, this is probably either my favorite or my second favorite. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. This is probably the most or second most effective area to farm if you're doing totem farming and treasure trove farming. My favorite area is obviously the Gloomwald, because favorite doesn't matter if it's actually the best. It just means you like it the most. And I do enjoy the Gloomwald, so I prefer to farm there, but obviously this might actually be more effective. So I'm checking just here, clearing the fog of war away, or clearing the map, so as I can see it from further away. It's not there right now, obviously, but it will be later. Let's actually smash these quests out. I need to go back to get a couple of sigils. Get a sigil. So I will need 3 sigils for the quest. I'm not going to do the devotion shrine because one of these sigils is worth more to me than a couple pieces of green loot. Or a purple that I'm going to sell anyway. So I'm actually going to not do the devotion shrine because, yeah, it's too expensive for what you get out of it. But we'll come down here, we'll turn this quest in. Second quest, I think, is to... Is it kill Bolvar, or is that Kaiman's? That might be Kaiman's. Okay, what must I do? Rite of Resurrection. Okay, so it's the remains. I think it might be the remains and then... Yeah, remains and then turning those 3 in. That's fine. Let's just save ourselves a little bit of running. This is the ultimate in laziness. I am 100% here for it. I'm not going to rescue the Coven Witch either because that's a decent detour for very little. Are we maxed with Coven yet? We got to be getting close. Not quite. We will most likely be maxed with them very quickly into their quest line once we get there. And until we get there, I kind of don't care. So we're just going to leave them for now. We'll head up through the Blood Grove, and actually I don't need to kill anything in here. Probably don't want to get shot too much. And in my attempts to not have to fight anything, I've gone a different route to how I would normally go, and now I'm lost, so let's just go back to the way I normally go. That is really unfortunate as a blockage there. I almost always go up the left-hand side here, but I was trying to avoid Bolvar. It's fine. We'll just fight him when he shows up. He will inevitably be in the area that we need to go to anyway. Send our farmers back to Homestead before they get sacrificed. Why is everyone getting sacrificed or eaten in this game? Alright, I am, like I said, keeping my eyes out for Bolvar. This red portal here will take you into a Chthonic Rift. We don't go there. Unless you really want to do the Rover's questline. The Honored quest will take you in there, but unless you really, really want to do that quest for some reason, going in there is just potential extra death for very little gain. Oh, there's Bolvar. There goes half my health bar. And we're just going to try very hard to stay out of his way. So these are the guns he was just shooting me with. Now, he had this as well. But the Bloodsworn repeaters here. Rune Carved of Alacrity and Demonic of Alacrity. So, because he's a humanoid enemy, he actually gets to shoot you with those guns. And he can get some really silly bonuses on those guns. And then you run around the corner and, oh, there he is, and oh, now I'm dead. It hasn't happened to me for quite some time because I am very, very likely to have capped resistances before I come in here. But yeah, it absolutely can happen that you you just walk around a corner and then you're dead. Now, I'm going to target this guy down because he's arcane, so all the pets go kill him, please. And what do we get? Rising Phoenix, don't really care. The Pack of Deadly Means is pretty good on a Poison and Acid Dervish. And none of this looks particularly good. Grove Necklace could be interesting. Alright. Yeah, I didn't end up spending the time to get a +1 Necro Amulet with a healing proc on it. I'm probably not going to do it now either, although if you were going to do it, probably late 70s, early 80s is most likely the time to do it. But I think I'll leave it alone. Alright, the Devotion Shrine there that I just uncovered as well is another really good one for farming. Coming up on an hour, I think I'll run up to... Yeah, I think we'll get up to Darkvale Gate, and then that'll be the end of the episode. So now's a good time if you were ever going to do it, to go and farm... it's not Bolvar, Benevold. Farm his shop for any MIs you might need, which is going to be your necklace and nothing else. So if you want the necklace, now's a good time to go and farm it. I think I'll probably be fine. We've also got another potential totem location here. And we do need to go to the logging camp. What is it called? Where's the quest? What's another word for a logging camp? The mill. We need to go to the mill and clear that out. And there is another totem spawn on the way, so we'll be hitting the totem spawn for sure. Just had a feeling I hadn't spent any of my skill points then. I'm very diligent about spending them normally. Definitely don't occasionally go multiple levels without spending skill points. That's not me. Some other person named Paikis. Alright, so here's the mill. We're going to clear this area. Get these guys to spawn. See if we can't drag them outside. Some of them at least. It'll do. Alright, quest is complete-ish. I heard a quest update there. I'm pretty sure that's done. Okay. Totem. I am mostly here looking for arcanes when they pop out. Anything else I'm probably going to want to kill anyway, but anything not arcane most likely doesn't need to be killed immediately. Okay, we have got a purple. We've got the Wild Blood Crusher. No good for pets. Sapphire of Elemental Balance. Mark of Fierce Resolve. Not going to use either of those, but hey, it's one less. Blueprint I have to collect later. That's another pet item. So that's a one-handed mace that will let you summon Devourers. Actually not bad, since it requires a hit rather than a kill now. But we're not playing Chaos Pets, so we're not going to use that. Alright, coming through here on Ultimate, you do want to clear this area right here, and a few more up here. You want to be able to see the totems when you're farming them. And if you've cleared the map away, they will show up from a much further distance on your mini-map. On this map, sorry. So you definitely want to clear the map so you can see it. This is another location. You will get these very, very quickly if you're farming this area. Basically, the first time they spawn there, you'll find them, and you'll have the map cleared, but I like to do it on the way through. I didn't find the remains. Okay, that's a little bit embarrassing. Especially since I was just talking about them. Alright, that's another thing we're going to pretend didn't happen. I'll have to go back for them. Alright, the village of Darkvale. In here, we have a couple things to worry about. The first one is there is a treasure trove and a guaranteed dynamite spawn. So we definitely want to hit those. The next thing is Zarya. Now, if you don't have 80% resistances on Ultimate, she is very likely to one-shot you with her crystals. So make sure you have... I mean, you probably get away with 60 or 70%, but make sure you have very good chaos resistance when you go anywhere near her, or be ready to die. You might get lucky, the totems might target your pets. Can happen, but do you really want to be relying on luck for a level 73 hardcore character that you've been playing for that many hours? Personally, I don't. Alright, so the dynamite was just here. The first place to check is next to the cabinet that I whacked with my weapon for a treasure trove, so inside the house where the dynamite was. This is the second place to check for a treasure trove, and the third and fourth are just up here. So just here is the third place to check, and it looks like I've got the last spawn, which is fine. So the final spawn location, I shouldn't have used that then. Final spawn location is right here. 2 rare crafting materials, 2 rare items, bunch of bits. Not too bad. Alright, I'm going to wait for Call of the Grave to come back. And normally I would say send in the pets first, but Zarya is going to curse you. And you want to curse on yourself, not on your pets. So let's just... there we go. I got cursed, pets didn't. Now they can kill her. No problems. Crystals may come out, but they're not going to have time to fire. There we go. Down she goes. Now, Zarya's Pendant of the Wild, if I was playing a Conjurer, I would be quite happy right now. of the Wild is going to give you extra skill points to Briarthorn and a lot of those pet bonuses. And then Zarya's Pendant is +1 to Shaman skills. I want to say +3 to Emberclaw, but don't quote me on that. It's a really good Conjurer amulet. Unfortunately, we're not playing a Conjurer, so it's no good for us. Let's go ahead and do this. This is a fight. We can do fights. So a couple of heroes. Get some loot from them. There's a level. Love to see that. Quickening Gem and Obliterix. Kind of whatever. Crushing Will. Yep. Lovely, lovely iron bits in the waiting. Okay, and we are done. So I'm going to go back to the Blood Grove and find those crystals. This is going to be the end of the content for anyone who wants to stop watching now. For anyone who wants to see my run through a half-cleared out Blood Grove to get the bones, I'll leave them here, but otherwise, thank you for watching. And for those of you sticking around, it will be a short trip back to get the bones. So they're usually kind of over here-ish. See, this is why you have your own set path, and you don't try and deviate. Because I deviated to avoid fighting Bolvar. I still had to fight him. And I missed out on the bones. So here they are, I think. Or is that another... Nope, that's another necklace, which I don't think I need. I've got 7. Don't need those. Alright, we'll do a little more exploring since that's what I have to do. Where is it? Seal of Binding. Oh, that's another Black Legion thingy. Okay. While I'm here, actually. So there is a section down here where you can go behind a waterfall. It's off the map. And then into this little area here, which is also not included on the map. That's where this Void Touch Totem is. Personally, I tend to skip that one if I'm doing farming runs. It's a very long run for a normal totem. I don't think it's worth it. I would rather just reset my session and go again. So I tend to skip that one. It's entirely up to you if you want to do that. Let's go turn in some quests, and then that'll be the actual end of the episode. And I can sell stuff in between, so you don't have to watch that. Normally come here to talk to him straight away, but anyway. Alright, so Captain Soma. Next step is kill Karoz. And then, I don't think we have anything for him yet, nope. We do, however, have a quest for Sergeant Sariv here. For clearing out the mill. And then Scoutmaster, what's his face? We've got his things as well. Okay, what do we got? Report to Barnabas and go talk to the Death Vigil. So I'll do that. We'll spend our skill points, otherwise I'll forget. Actually, I'll do that at the beginning of the next episode. Otherwise, people who left early might miss it. And back to Sora's Bastion.
I can't do that yet.
I bet you could if you tried harder. Alright, let's turn this in. I think he's going to send us to get the ashes now. Nope, seals. I've already got seals. Thank you very much. What's next? Gather the essence. Okay, so this is into the mines. So next episode we'll get that done. However, that is going to be the end of the episode. So I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.